All right. Welcome, everybody, to Tactical Tuesday. It is Tuesday, August 27th. Tonight, we're going to be doing some Tactical Arbitrage Live Sourcing, plus your questions, of course, for this week's episode of Tactical Tuesday. I need to get everything squared away, and then we're going to be talking about the sponsors this week. I was able to recruit some new blood, and we're going to have some more prizes. So let me get everything straightened around here. Perfect. All right. Hey, Tiffany from Eat Sleep Amazon is on the YouTube chat. Hey, how's it going? Now, for anybody over in Zoom who wanted to switch over to YouTube, I'm going to drop the link for you guys. This evening, we are, of course, going to be giving away five people are going to get OA Cheddar, a lead list from the fellows over at OACheddar.com. You can, of course, check them out at OACheddar.com. We've got 3 people who are going to win poly bags, 100 poly bags from Jonathan Swart and his family at iLoveSupplies.com. Those guys make the best poly bags, in my opinion. I love them. The strips don't stick to your fingers, and they're also really great. They've got ready to ship printed right on them, and they also have the suffocation warning, and they're just high quality. We've also going to be giving away 2 copies of IP Alert, and then of course we're going to be giving away 2 Tactical Arbitrage T-shirts for anybody who is in the States. Unfortunately, I can't ship those outside of the States. So I shared the link for the folks in the Zoom room or the Zoom webinar, but I'm also going to share it with those of you on YouTube. Let me pop this in the chat here. This is how you get registered for the giveaway. It is a Google form. You just need to drop your first name and the first initial of your last name. I'll remind you guys about halfway through, and then we'll be drawing names at random. Excuse me. For those of you on YouTube, if you give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. Adrian, you are already in the Zoom webinar. You're in the Zoom chat, so you're good to go. All right. Let me make sure we're here. Okay. So I am going to share my screen with everybody. There we go. So this week we're going to be doing live sourcing. Of course, if you have any questions, make sure to stop me. I will be sure to answer all of them for you guys. And we've got the first one already here. So I'd really like to know if it's possible to use Tactical Bucket to create a bulk scan of a site like Vipon that has private login, and if private paths would accomplish this. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do, or the first thing I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about sourcing from places like Vipon and these other coupon sites. You might be able to have Tactical Bucket make you an XPath for it. It's very possible. Javier, who runs Tactical Bucket, is an absolute genius. However, I would highly, highly suggest that you do not source from those coupon sites. Those are typically going to be people who are trying to create a brand, create private label products, and while they may not be brand registered and you might be able to sell those products per Amazon, it's very likely that you are going to get IP complaints from them, or they're going to buy it from you and say it's counterfeit, or they're going to say that you haven't, you're not honoring the warranty, all kinds of stuff. And it can, I actually, because of IP Alert, I probably get 5 or 6 brands a week that I can end up finding back on these coupon sites. So you can do it if you want. And I know that there are a couple of people on YouTube, which I have been very tempted to make kind of a rebuttal video and telling these guys off, because what they're teaching is really not the safest. Now for brickseek.com, you might be able to. That one's going to be a little bit tougher because you got so many zip codes and things like that. That would be something to chat with Javier at Tactical Bucket. He might be able to build something. I've actually talked to him about that in the past, and we tried to come up with some ideas and things, and I'm not 100% sure, but I bet you if he put his mind to it, he really could figure out how to build an XPath for a place like brickseek.com. Okay, so I took a poll in the Tactical Arbitrage Facebook group, and we talked about whether we should do this live on YouTube. Of course, as you can see, we are going to do it live on YouTube. So we're going to use some old sales. Now, the way that I did this is I went to SalesGazer.com. SalesGazer.com is free. Doesn't cost anything. It costs an email, of course. And I am kind of part the idea man behind this, and the guy who built it is a lot smarter than me. But we haven't done anything with emails. We're not sending out any affiliate emails or anything like that. Maybe in the future you might see an ad up here in the top bar or something. But as of right now, this is absolutely 100% free, no ads or anything like that. And it just takes an email to get in there. Now, what I did is I went and I found some sales. And if we go to my search manager, you can see that I set up a beauty encounter scan. And then I also set up a Barnes & Noble scan, and I set up 2 Walgreens scans. And this Walgreens scan is a little bit odd. So I'm going to show you how I did it. That way you can see what happened here. But all I did is I went in here and I started looking for stores. And the first thing I did is I typed in B, and I found Barnes & Noble. And I saw about a week ago that they had a 10% off coupon for your entire purchase. Okay. And then I went in and you go to product search. And if we pull, sorry, my screen's going to be a little slow tonight, guys, because I'm streaming, but we'll get through it here. So I went to Barnes & Noble. And what I'm going to do tonight, guys, I'm going to show you how I got it set up. And then we're actually going to look through the results. That way, this is kind of an A to Z as to what's going on. Okay. Hey, Derek, I don't have any videos up on SalesGazer, and that is on me. I really should. So if you guys have a SalesGazer account, one of the first things you're going to need to do is you'll sign in and you'll see nothing in your inbox. Okay. You go up to this little gear icon. Come on. I may have a little too much running. Here we go. So you go up to this little gear icon, and then what I would do is if you're in the US, I would select USA. Okay. You could even filter by store if you want to, but I have just the USA sites here. And then I click this little button right here. And now I can click subscribe selected. Okay. If you go to show and do 200 at a time, you can see a whole lot more, and you could select all of those all at once. Okay. And then I've got a couple where I've hearted them, just messing around with things. You can also unsubscribe. Like I typically don't buy from Adidas.com, so I just unsubscribe from them. There are probably a few others I should take some time to actually go in and unsubscribe from. But really easy once you do that. And you can also suggest a new site. If you know of a site that you'd like in here that's not in here, suggest it. We'll get it added. But yeah, that's all it is. Once you do that, you click on inbox and you're good to go. Let me answer this question privately here. There we go. All right. So all I did is I went through there, figured out some things. The Honey extension may be able to find these limited sales and coupons. I don't deal with the Honey extension very much. My wife has it on her computer, so I'm not 100% sure. I need to mess around with it to figure that out. All right. Now, go back to the product search. And what I decided to do with Barnes & Noble is I decided to do an easy bulk. Okay, so I'm going to use easy bulk. And I just wanted to do toys. Okay, I didn't want to look at any, books or anything like that. I just wanted toys. And Jason brings up a good point. Yes, some of the bulk lists on Barnes & Noble are bigger than what a bulk list will accept. So what you do there is, say I was actually going for books, for example, I would select books, okay? And I click out of level number 1 and I go to level number 2, okay? And now in here, I start selecting what I want, all right? So I can see all of these, I can add all the ones in green. Now, once I get everything selected and I add that to the bulk list, I go down and I just do another search, okay? So, but in this case, I just did toys. All right. Oops. I forgot to deselect. There we go. So in this case, I'm just going to go after toys. That's all I did today. Add to the bulk list. Now, what I did in here is the important part is I need to do my source price adjustments. And in my source price adjustments, in this particular case, I had a 10% off coupon. All right. Now you can also auto select the cash back. Okay. I didn't do that in this particular case, but I know that the cash back in this particular case was 2% from Raise. All right. Which Tactical Arbitrage will figure out for you automatically if you have it set up. And I also could get gift cards. I want to say the gift cards were 4%. I believe that's correct. Actually, let's double check here. 2% cash back, 4% gift card. Perfect. So I put all those in here. Now, the other thing is I did state sales tax as 0. The reason I did it as 0, excuse me, is I figure that a lot of people are using prep centers in tax-free states. If not, you can often offset the cost at least a little bit by using a tax-free prep center for places that don't necessarily accept tax-free certificates. And I've never tried with Barnes & Noble. I haven't tried in-store or online, so I don't know if they will. But if not, you can use a tax-free prep center. Okay, so I put my store price adjustments in here. In the remove section, all I did was I removed if the estimated sales was less than 1. Barnes & Noble isn't really great about removing third-party sellers from results. And then that's it there, okay? In the cost and fees, I've got my costs and fees in here. So if you are using a prep center, you of course want to make sure to fill these in. I do have my 75 cents per pound to ship to Amazon, which, like I've explained in the past, is probably overshooting a touch. I know that UPS has made things a little bit more expensive, but it's definitely not 75 cents. I use 75 cents because that usually covers the cost of my boxes, most of my prep material, and then I add in just a little bit if we're going to bundle in case we're using, a lot of times when we bundle things, we'll have to bubble wrap it because we do a fair amount of glass, okay? Profit and ROI, all I did is I put in here $1 for my profit and 10% on my ROI. Now, the reason that I kept it low is because I want to see more. Okay, we're gonna go through these pretty fast, and I'll be able to quickly see what I want to get rid of and what I want to take a deeper look at. Now, Wayne and Tiffany, both thank you. It looks like Barnes & Noble will take your tax, your reseller's permit in store, okay, or your tax certificate or anything like that. But anyway, I want these profit and ROIs kind of wide. That way I can see more, and then I can cut down on things on my own. Okay. In the other filters, the only thing I do is I put also show Amazon out of stock results, and that's it. Because we're running a sale here, I don't necessarily want to also have Target and other stores show up. Okay. Once I have this all set up, I'm going to hit search. Okay. Roy says he's set up to be tax-free for online purchases with Barnes & Noble. That's good to know. I'll need to take the time to do that. Yeah, anyway, once this is all set up, hit the search button, okay? I'm not going to hit the search button because I already ran this scan. But once you do hit the search button, you're going to see this box up here change. You're going to start seeing it go through items. And at that point, you're going to see start a new search happen up here where this delete all button is. And you're going to want to hit start new search, okay? Now, before we get on to the next one, Katie says, are there any recommendations for prep centers? I've got some friends who own and operate Prime Zero Prep in New Hampshire, and I think those guys are honest and do a good job. I know that there is a tax-free place in Montana. Their name escapes me at the moment. And then there's also one in Oregon, and their name escapes me. But if you Google tax-free prep centers, you're going to come up. There's a blog post that is that has a bunch of them. But yeah, Simone says she agrees with Prime Zero Prep. I like they're friends of mine, so I always suggest them first. Shannon says, many of my product searches using easy bulk lists ends up timing out at the 72-hour mark. I'm using 2-day cash already and are within the 500 category limit. Why are they timing out? What should I do differently? They're timing out probably just because of the number of items that Tactical Arbitrage is trying to go through. So you do two things. One, you can make your bulk list smaller, or two, once your search is finished, you can actually start it from where it stopped. And since I don't really have an example that I can show you right now, if you want to email me or message me on Facebook, then we'll actually get into your account together and I'll show you exactly how to get that started from where it stopped. But you're not doing anything wrong. It's just like if we do, let's say we do Walmart toys, okay? There could be 100,000 items in there. Walmart has the second largest catalog on the internet. So what I would suggest is you just pick it right back up from where it stopped and you'll be good to go. And I'll be happy to help you with that if you want to message me. Okay, now, once I had that search set up, I wanted to get more going. Okay. Kenneth, yes, this actually, it's here in Zoom. And then we also go live on YouTube. So this will be on YouTube within 10 to 20 minutes after this is over. And if you signed up for Zoom to get an email, I'll be shooting out an email tomorrow as well, just so you can have an easy link. All right, now, once you have that all set up, it's time to start another search. You should never just have your Tactical Arbitrage account doing one search at a time. So, going to delete that. The next search that I did was a Walgreens search, and Walgreens had a 25% off all regularly priced items last week. Okay, I believe that sale is over, so I think we're in the clear here. So what I did, this Walgreens scan is kind of difficult. Okay, Walgreens doesn't really separate out all of their regular priced products from their sale price products. Now you can get just the categories of just sale products, but you cannot get just the regular priced products all the time. Okay, so what I did with Walgreens is I went in and I chose Walgreens. Oh, and you know what, Roy, I'm going to share this on YouTube as well. Roy shared the email to be able to set up tax-free at Barnes & Noble online. Okay. I'm going to drop that in the YouTube chat as well. If you email taxes@bn.com, you can get your reseller permit handled with them and be able to order tax-free to your home if you're not in a tax-free state. Okay. Roy, I really appreciate that, man. I want to make sure you get credit for that. Okay, so with Walgreens, I did 2 scans. One scan was the 25% off sale. Another scan was a buy one, get one free vitamin sale. Okay. With the 25% off sale, I used the Easy Bulk. Okay. And I just did everything. Okay. Now, typically, I don't want to see any as seen on TV. So you could, instead of doing everything, you could choose, or you could select all and then get rid of the as seen on TV, and you could do everything else. But I just did all in this particular case. Let me deselect those, select all, and I added that to the bulk list. Okay, so I've got 417 bulk categories in there. And then in my source price adjustments, I did a 25% discount. Now, I know that cash back with them is, well, with Raise, it's 3%. There are a couple other places like Giving Assistant, they'll have to do 4%. But it's also, you need to make sure that it's also tiered. Okay. So things like health and personal care will get 1%, while things like grocery get nothing. Okay. So I'm just going to do 3% cash back. I think that's what I set up. Let me double check. Oh, no, I actually set up nothing in there. Okay. But anyway, 3% cash back. And then gift cards online with Walgreens are pretty much impossible that I know of. If somebody knows of a way, that would be killer. But all of their gift cards are physical, and I've never even seen a place to put a gift card in when buying from them online. Okay. Then, of course, I left the state sales tax empty. In the remove section, again, I went with remove if estimated sales is less than 1. And I did remove third-party sellers. That's always on, but Walgreens doesn't have any third-party sellers. The source titles, I had nothing. The costs and fees in here, I put in here the 75 cents and my 50 cents. Of course, you're going to want to put in your cost of prep and things like that. My profit and ROI stayed the same at $1 and 10%. And then my other filters was just also show Amazon out of stock results. Okay. And I hit search on that one. Now, the one that gets a little bit tricky, Richard, are there better gift card sites than others? Yeah, I like Raise for gift cards. I've also had, I've had luck with Cardpool. I've never had an issue with them. I know some people who have done well with, I think it's cardflip.com. So what I always suggest is if it's a place that's not Raise or Cardpool or something like that, I would always test out a gift card site. So like I have never used, Card Cash is a good one. I have never used cardflip.com. So if I wanted to go and test them out, I would actually go and I'd probably buy like a $5 gift card and make sure things worked okay. And then don't forget, if you have a honey hole or if you have a place that you just source on a regular basis, there are a lot of these sites which will do, they'll do bulk purchasing for you. Okay. So there's usually like an 800 number or something, someone that you can email to talk about bulk purchases. Okay. That's always a good way to try and make a few extra spots. Heaven says gift card granny. Yeah, I haven't really dealt with them very much either. I'm a creature of habit, so I pretty much stick to just 1 or 2 places for cash back and for gift cards, even if it's not in my best interest all the time. Okay. Now, on this last one, I actually did a scan for a specific category. The reason I did this is because I wanted to go after just a particular set of vitamins that were on sale. Okay. Actually, it was several vitamins or several categories. They had a buy one, get one free in multiple categories last week. So I'm going to copy these from here to make it nice and easy. But typically what you would need to do is you would need to go to the site and you would need to choose. Actually, let's open this up here. I'll show you Walgreens. If we go to Walgreens and we go to shop, and then I always go down to the weekly online deals, and we'll see here that this is buy one, get one 50% off. Those are 2 for $5. That's buy one, get one 50% off. Oh, it looks like vitamins are still buy one, get one free. This is like all the time. So they actually have this one in all in one list. So all you need to do is grab this. Last week, there was a bunch of other buy one, get one free vitamins. Okay. So what I did here is I actually turned my Easy Bulk off and I pasted those in by hand. Okay. So there were several different categories for vitamins, and these were all buy one, get one free last week. So in my source price adjustments, I went from 25% to 50% because buy one, you get one free. It's 50% off. My cash back again was 3% and state sales tax 0. My remove was the same. You'll notice this gets a little boring because I do the same filters over and over again. My source titles were empty. My costs and fees were the same. My profit and ROI was the same. And then my other filters was the same. Okay. In these particular instances, I'm not running the also show reverse search results. But if I were doing a regular, like in Q4, if I'm just hammering toys as hard as I can, I'm going to always have these turned on. Okay. If I'm looking for replens, and things like that, I'm always going to have the also show reverse search results for more sources turned on. So it's kind of unusual in these particular instances because I'm going after sales that that I didn't turn these on. So Jason says, to search categories, we just put in the web link. Does there have to be a specific format? Yes, each site is different, okay? And when you have the site chosen, up here in the category example, you're going to see a category example. So in this particular case with Walgreens, it's typically just copying and pasting the URL, okay? But if we go to Target, it's not the URL. It's actually the category ID number, okay? So if we actually choose Target here, and you go to the category example, you're going to pull a category ID number, and that is actually, it's in the URL bar, and it follows, it's the numbers that follow the N dash in the URL bar, okay? So always check that. Am I concerned with expiration dates on vitamins, et cetera, from Walgreens? I have never really had an issue. If something happens, I chalk it up to a loss, and that it just happens. I really try not to return things if I've bought them. But with vitamins, and I don't do as many vitamins as I do topicals and beauty products, and those ones are typically even better than vitamins. Jason, if you want to add other stores to Tactical Arbitrage, you can get an account with Tactical Bucket. Let's see if it does not. I lost all my links. I've got a link that you can use, and I've done a couple of webinars on YouTube all about Tactical Bucket. That'd be good to go back and watch. All right. So after you get those taken care of, after you get all the scans set up, that's all you need to do. You can sit back, you can go watch football, hang out with the kids or anything like that. I typically like to set scans and then go away. If I sit and watch them, one, it's like watching paint dry, and two, then you start thinking, well, this isn't going as fast as I want, but I can guarantee you it's a million times faster than doing manual sourcing. We do some manual sourcing on occasion, and it is slow and boring and tedious. So tactical arbitrage makes it a whole lot better. Okay. But I would suggest once you start the scans, set them at night before you go to bed, set them in the morning before you go to work, and then let them run. Okay. And come back to them later. Once we do that, let me close this up, close SalesGazer up. You can see in my search manager, the Barnes & Noble scan and the 2 Walgreens are all finished up. And if we go to the queue, the beauty encounter is still running. I'm actually going to stop this beauty encounter scan so that we are, so that it's not loading when we're on the view page. TA does add new sites. Absolutely. The thing is because of all of the upgrades and all of the maintenance, TA cannot add sites like on a daily or weekly basis. So what some people have done is they've been able to go out and add their own sites with XPaths. And it allows you to, and Tactical Arbitrage also checks sites to make sure that they're ones that should be added. Okay. So if you don't want to wait, you can always suggest a site to the support team and we add it to a file and it's got a ton of sites there. But 2, you can have it added yourself. You can use Tactical Bucket. You could hire a developer of your own, whatever you might want to do. It may cost a few extra bucks, but in the long run, it allows you to fish where other people aren't fishing. I bought some beauty from Walgreens and returned back because I couldn't find expiration date. Yeah, you got to check with the lot codes on those, and sometimes there isn't a whole lot of great information when it comes to beauty. It just happens. Was there a little jar on it that was kind of open with a number in it or anything like that? That's often what you'll see on that kind of stuff. Robert says, I'm trying to do online arbitrage, but most products need approval, vitamin E, beauty products, and toys. You can do a couple of things, Robert. One, you could get ungated, okay, which can be as easy as finding a supplier and buying the items that you need to get ungated. It'll take some time. It'll cost a little money. You might actually lose money on those products. Alternatively, if you're gated, you can not source those items. Okay. In some of the other Tactical Tuesday videos, we've talked about how to remove categories, brands, things like that. You want to go back and watch them. And it'll help you do that. Okay. If you want to wait those out, you should get ungated eventually. It just takes time. It takes some clean history. And some selling history, and then gates start lifting. Okay. Let's see here. So how did you start the scans when you left one search and set up another? You hit the little start button. Okay. You hit the little start button down here, the search. I don't want to start the scan. Okay. But if I hit search down here, then what's going to happen is up at the top right, this delete all button is going to turn orange, and you're going to see a start a new search button. I click start a new search, and that's it. If I want to run a search for a sale that I see in an email from a store, is there a way to get results quickly? Yeah, you should see results fairly quickly from these, especially if it's a really good sale. Okay. You'll see them faster if you run it with fewer filters. You'll see more items. There may be more items you don't want to go through. But you will see, I mean, Tactical Arbitrage works fast to the tune of scanning thousands of items an hour typically. So you should see results pretty fast. Let's see here. Ganti asks a good question. in the past, I've talked about an extension that will make XPaths for you. I can no longer recommend that Chrome extension. The developer pretty much doesn't answer emails or anything like that when there's a problem. So I would not spend the money on getting that XPath extension. Is buying from Walmart considered a valid supplier to get ungated in a category? Unfortunately, it is not in 99% of cases, okay? There have been some flukes where people will get ungated in a particular toy or a particular item using a Walmart receipt, but it is not the rule, okay? The rule is you need a distributor or manufacturer. Amazon typically wants to see that kind of thing, okay? All right, now, once you have some results, okay, let's get to the fun part. What we want to do is I actually like to go over to my search manager and I like to look at the completed ones. And I like to go through them one at a time, okay? So if I want to go through just Barnes & Noble or just Walgreens, I like to do them one at a time, okay? So we're going to go through this Walgreens, this buy one, get one free vitamins. If we view the data here, I'm going to show you some things that I try to do. And now in this, there's only 79. So I have mine. I have my page. I'll show you exactly how I have my page set up, okay? First of all, I have my competitive range from the buy box at 2%, okay? I pretty much think that about 2% is where the buy box is rotating, all right? I am also of the mindset that I like to churn my inventory faster. I don't really want to hold on to things. So I'm staying pretty competitive with the buy box, okay? I do not show the barcodes or the 3D box shapes. I'm not really, I think those are cool features, but I'm not too worried about them, all right? I have my page set up to show me 10 results at a time. The reason I have this set up for 10 results at a time is I want the page load speed to be as fast as possible. I want to be able to scroll down and see everything and things like that. Okay. And unfortunately, my page load speed is going to be a little slower than usual since we're streaming. Okay. Typically, I will have this screen wide on my widescreen monitor so I can see everything at once. But I keep my Keepa chart or my history chart over here to the left hand side. Okay. So we can see the sales rank. We can see buy box prices and things like this. Okay. I have my estimated monthly sales right in this column. The in stock, the source. I like to know what site it's coming from in case I happen to look at more than one site in a scan. I have the original price, my discounts and taxes. Then I have the adjusted price. I put my product images right next to each other because I want to be able to see them. Like for this one, this very first one, the images are a mismatch, okay? And if we look at the title, prenatal and fish oil, these are also a mismatch, okay? My guess is that someone used the incorrect UPC when they built this listing, all right? This UPC on Amazon, they probably fudged it in there or used it from something else, okay? I have the title and the Amazon title right next to each other because I want to be able to see these things so I can look over them. I have the brand in here in case I want to exclude them, and also because I've got IP alert, so I have a little check mark or a red flashing symbol here if it is a known IP offender. I like to know the category, especially with this top 3% that's put in here now. This is a nice little feature these days. I have the ASIN in case I ever want to exclude it. You can also, if I find an ASIN at one location and maybe I want to see others, I can do a quick reverse search on this particular ASIN. I put in the Amazon UPC and the regular UPC so that I can look at those. Who owns the buy box? So this one right here tells me that it's a virtual FBA holder. Now, virtual FBA means that the buy box is being held by a merchant fulfilled seller. And I have this set to be able to price above a merchant fulfilled seller either at 2 or 5%. I have to go back and double check. So my price, okay, my sale price is based on being above the merchant fulfilled seller, okay? I have the number of new sellers on the listing, the number of competitive FBA sellers as well. So this will be the number of sellers within that 2% of the buy box. Now, since there's only one seller, there's only one competitive seller. Gives me an Amazon buy box price. This is going to be a VFBA, a virtual FBA buy box. So the MF seller is a little bit lower than this, but this is based on what I should be able to sell it for. And you'll see you have VFBA here as well. You can see the MF buy box price at $44.85, my VFBA setting at 2% above, and my adjusted buy box at $45.75. I could probably go a little bit higher than that and still get the buy box. And typically when we send it in on a product like this, we will price it higher than that and then come down if we need to. Excuse me. I have the sales rank. I have the average 30-day, the average 90-day. Then I have the Amazon in stock over 90 days. I always want to see that as well. I have the gross ROI, the gross profit, the number of reviews, and when this was last updated. So I use a 10-day cache, and this particular product was actually last updated on 8/12. Okay, so I would want to go in and probably refresh this to get some fresh data on it. But I'm also not worried about that, because if it fits my kind of glance over, then I'm going to move it and then do a little bit of deeper digging later on. Okay. So let me answer some questions. How do you display the Keepa on the left? If you go to manage columns, you want to turn on the history chart, and then you can rearrange them from here. Okay. So I keep mine. Oh, there we go. Move my history chart back. You can also grab them up here and you can rearrange them that way. Okay. But this is called the history chart. And Christine, that's also how you set the order of the columns. You can do that in the manage columns area here. Okay. Or you can move them out here as well once you see that little gloved hand. Do I use Keepa statistics to show or to make purchasing decisions? Yes, Keepa is king. It is the king of data. It lets us see what kind of velocity a product has, pretty much. Lets us see that it's selling on a regular basis. Lets us see kind of a history of the price, so we can see this particular product. We can see these buy boxes are all right around the $45 range. And that's what we want to see. We want to see a nice, healthy, flat buy box, of course. You can see this one has moved around a bit. All right. So watching Keepa, you can learn a lot of things about the history of a product and whether or not you want to sell it. What percentage of your product listings have other FBA buy box sellers getting into the dollar drop war challenge? And on average, how does it impact your target profit margins by the end? That's a great question. So here's what I do. I have a repricer, and I set my repricer to my minimums and my maximums. And then I just let it figure it out. Inventory Lab tells me that my profit margin before taxes is right around, excuse me, right around 18% or so. And I'm pretty happy with that. And then of course I've got taxes and things like that, but I do include things like all of my subscriptions, all of my software, all of that stuff goes in there, so that it all takes into account for that as well. Yeah, but I don't worry about it too much is really the thing. I let my repricer handle it, and then I just move on to sourcing. Me worrying about whether or not I'm going to make $5 on a particular product, or if I'm going to make $4.25 on a particular product, is not allowing me to grow my sales for the next month, the next 3 months or get ready for Q4. Frank, I use the Aura repricer. I'm really happy with those guys. I think they're a couple of really smart guys. They're young fellows who are building a software while in and graduating from college. They've got some cool things down the road with AI, and I like their vision. It's also one of the, for what it does, it's one of the less expensive options out there. Yeah, I'm happy with those guys. I think they're good dudes. I did a webinar with one of the guys, so it was good. Yes, the Aura repricer. Is TA going to add new sites to source? There is not. Yes, TA does add sites. These days, it's all about fixing sites that have to get taken away, just because changes happen. But yeah, TA does add sites, and there are a set of items that are going to be coming out, new features and things, and then I would imagine that after that, it'll probably talk about doing some more sites. Cannot get Tactical Bucket. Can you recommend an app where I can make my own X paths? I would not use any apps. So if you Google, or if you go to YouTube and put in how to make an X path, you can learn it on your own if you would like. Otherwise, I don't have a developer that makes them for me on an individual basis any longer. He went and got himself a job over in Russia and said he couldn't do it for me anymore. But I had a guy on Upwork who did it. You can also use freelancer.com. You can use fiverr.com. It won't cost you $5, but they have people who can do it there. Where do you put the price for the VFBA at 2 to 5% above the merchant fulfilled? You can do that in your settings. I showed that last week where we can do that in our settings. In one of your past videos, I think you showed how to see the inventory of other sellers. Please, can you show it again? And do you take that into account when doing a listing? Honestly, I don't really pay too much attention to the amount of inventory other sellers have. However, on a particular product, what we can do is, actually, let's go to this one here. If we go under the new sellers column and click this this microscope button, that's going to take us to Tactical Edge. Inside of Tactical Edge, we're going to be able to see a bunch of data, okay? And one of that should be the inventory for the sellers. Bear with me just a moment here. Okay, so you can see this virtual seller. That would be the price that I could put at as a virtual FBA holder, and tells me my after fees, my profit, my gross ROI. We can see here that Dallas, Texas Media, they've got a ton of ratings. So this is a big seller. They are merchant fulfilling. I'm going to bet money they're probably a drop shipper, and a good one if that's the case. 99% positive. Please do not drop ship. I will say that so people don't think I am condoning it. They're priced at $25.87. It shows they have 14 in stock. Okay. But yeah, I usually take a pretty quick look at this. One of the things that I really like about Tactical Edge is this frequently bought together. So I can see the other items that people are buying as well. And something you could do is, so you've got these Nature Made multivitamin gummies, 150 count value size. You could go and actually find these B12s, and you could make yourself a multivitamin gummy and B12 bundle, and then you own a listing. And I would test it out. I mean, it won't cost you very much to test something like that out. And if it's being bought together, okay, people might pay to have it just bundled. All right. And if you can sell this for 26 and this is going for 11, maybe you can make it a little bit of a discount, or maybe you can even price it a little bit higher and they'll pay for the convenience. But there's all kinds of things you might be able to do here. Okay. Just by looking. What's the downside? So, what's the downside of using the Seller Central built-in auto pricer function? So there are some people who say nothing, and I've heard other people who say that it won't price back up, and then other people say that, well, it does price back up. What I do know for sure that if you use the Amazon repricer and you're pricing against someone else who's using the Amazon repricer, well, Amazon knows the bottom floor for everybody, so it can just take you there automatically. And I don't want Amazon doing that for me. Okay, I don't want Amazon pricing my stuff. They've got enough data as it is, so I want to keep that. I want to keep that separate, and I want to go after somebody who, I mean, that's their business. Their business is repricing. But I understand not paying for a repricer, so just do it manually. We've got apps on our phones. If you can, maybe you only need to reprice 3 or 4 times a day. You don't have to reprice every second or every 15 minutes or however fast it can be. Okay. Do I know the price of the repricer? Aura is currently $97 per month. However, if you use code CTS, all capitals, CTS, like clear the shelf, CTS, you can get 20% off of that price. What do I do to make sure I'm allowed to sell a product on Amazon? There are 2 ways to make sure I can sell a product on Amazon. One is I can click this little Amazon Seller Central button. Unfortunately, I cannot show you, okay? But right here under the Amazon title, there's a little A, and that will take you to the Add a Product page. You will there be able to see whether or not you can sell the particular product. I cannot show you what it looks like because it would take you into my account. You'd see my account name, and, well, then it would be on YouTube for everybody, and it would not be good. The other thing that I do is if I click on the Amazon title and I actually go to the Amazon product detail page, I have a tool called RevSeller. If I'm logged into my Amazon Seller Central account, RevSeller will tell me whether or not I can sell it. I can go check the hazmat status. I can double check the math. So let's say this is a $19 product. It'll go in and it'll pull out the net and the ROI and things like that. So RevSeller is what I suggest if you want to pay for a tool. If not, you just use this Amazon Seller Central button right here. You have a MacBook Pro. If you right click and don't see the option to click SS Pro, but I have it under Tactical Edge, is that normal? I'm not sure I understand. Maybe shoot me an email or a private message, Ashley, and I could take a look at that for you. Yeah, there's check permission. There is can I sell it? There's several tools out there that will tell you whether or not you can sell something. It appears that to make a seamless business out of online arbitrage, you need a bunch of subscribed tools. My question is, what is the average cost you spend monthly, yearly on tools subscriptions? So here's what I have. And unfortunately, you're not going to see my calculator, but I have Aura, my repricer. That currently, if you 97, you can get it for $77 a month. My inventory lab is $49 a month. Tactical Arbitrage account you can get for $89 up to like $129. So I'm going to figure $89 if you're doing just OA. RevSeller is $97 a year. And that's really all I would ever suggest people to get. You don't even need inventory lab. You don't need a repricer. It's not necessary. It's just helpful. Okay. I would not spend money until you need to either. If the money is better spent on inventory, spend it on inventory. Ganti, yes, I got your email about KDP books. I'm looking into it. I just don't have an answer yet, sir. How much percent did the repricer boost? Well, at first I would say it was probably 20 to 25%, and then it kind of levels out, you know. Comparing plans for tactical arbitrage, looking at just the OA at $89, is the OA plus wholesale better? Well, that depends if you're going to use the wholesale. You know, I've talked about how you can use wholesale to accelerate your reverse searches. So if you're really going to do it, yes, it's great. If you have wholesale accounts, then yes, you'll need it. But if you want to spend as little as possible, then just get the online arbitrage. Learn it, get really, really good at it. And then once you're making a little money, you know, keep going and get a little bit more. Are you allowed to send in gummies now? No, October. Not allowed. Not supposed to be sending in gummies. Yes, I do have a link for the Aura repricer somewhere. I'll have to find it. I lost all my links. But yes, so if I suggest something to people, I have tested it out myself. I've tried to put it through its paces. Like I don't go in, like I've got a cool software that I'm testing out right now that I haven't told anybody about. And in a week or two, once I see what it can actually do, I'm probably going to do a webinar with the people who own it, because at first glance, it's awesome. Ganti, Aura is, you get a 20% discount with the code CTS. It's still expensive. It's not necessary. Like, so people start thinking, well, I need this tool, I need this tool, I need this tool. You don't need every single tool. Like, I'm going to try not to sound like a jerk here. I can afford the tools. You know, we've got a monthly income from our Amazon sales, and we've got other businesses, so I can pay for the tools, and I do. Okay. But when I first started, I had the Amazon seller app, and that was it. When I was buying things from thrift stores to sell on Amazon, that's all I had. And when I first started selling books from thrift stores, I didn't have Scout IQ or these other apps that automatically, you know, give you a notice when it's a good buy. I just had the Amazon seller app in my brain, and that was it. Babajid, IP Alert is $97 a year. There's a code to get $20 off of that on the front page. Tactical Edge is built into Tactical Arbitrage. It doesn't cost anything extra. Tactical Bucket ranges from $39. You get a free account to test certain parts of it out, and then it's $39 a month, all the way up to like $99 a month. Jungle Scout, I don't use it. I don't know. If I were going to do private label, I might look at it, but I've heard better things about Helium 10, but I'm just not into private label, so I don't use it. But again, people focus so much that I need this tool, I need this tool, I need this tool, to try and maybe overcome your fear of investing in product. Okay? Invest in product, and then when you're making money, invest in tools to make your life a little bit easier. Okay, that's all the tools are about, is making your life easier. They are not things that are going to you know, be a golden goose for you, because they still take work. They just make life easier. Mike, send me a message and I'll help you with that history chart. Probably need to get into your account and see what's going on. Yeah, Carrie makes a great point. Start with smaller cost items, work your way up. Absolutely. Storefront Stock, I always forget about Storefront Stalker Pro is a tool that I think is essential. If you're doing reverse searches, I love Storefront Stalker Pro. However, if you don't want to pay for tools yet, then I would hold off. Robert, can you write that again? I'm not 100% sure. What level of tactical price is useful for a starter? I'm not sure what you mean there, man. Okay. Derek, yeah, RevSeller I love RevSeller. I do have a coupon code PRO20 to get $20 off the cost. Will, do you spend any money per month on CPC or promoting your listings? Yes. I spend I think it's at $15 a day now. It's either $10 or $15 a day. I have a thing called cheap PPC. I throw all of my OA and RA listings into it. And I just let it go. I spend like 7.5 cents, or I bid 7.5 cents per click, and it all just goes. And my cost, or my cost of advertising, it runs around 7 to 9%. Brian, that's a great question. On easy bulk selection, once you select some items in level 2 or level 3 and you hit add to bulk, then they're gone. What I would do is I would save the ones that you have, and you could export them. They are not sticky for when you create the next bulk list, unfortunately. Matthew Jones, what about QWERTY? I have tested it, and I see what they're trying to do. It needs, it's got a long way to go. I hope they get where they want to go with it. But I think if you have tactical arbitrage, there's probably not really a reason to have both. Does your secret sauce? No, I wish, man. Join Liz. The possible link for the yes, it's on YouTube. It'll be coming in email tomorrow. Yes, I have a RevSeller discount code. It's PRO20, PRO20. Gabriel, you want to do library search and OA? You're going to need the full suite, I think. Hold on, I always forget what the pricing is, or what levels there are. See, when I start back in my day, there was just like one level of tactical arbitrage. That was it. Yeah, if you want to do library search and OA, you're going to need the full suite, the 129. Use code clear the shelf and get a 10-day trial. Would I recommend Storefront Stalker Pro or Tactical Bucket if I could only choose one? If you could only choose one, that's a tough question. I would probably get Storefront Stalker Pro until I could afford Tactical Bucket. Tactical Bucket is a monthly fee. The cheap PPC, I set up my own PPC inside of my Seller Central. Clive, do I get replens for my fines and TA? Absolutely. We don't do a ton of replens. We're more of a wide and not too deep usually. But right now I have, I think, 9 replens, and we only have like 80 to 90 SKUs. And I'm gonna be 100% honest. I've got so many irons in the fire that, like, Amazon is not it's not my full-time income. It is a full-time income, but it is not the only thing that I do. And so we're not spending 12 hours a day on it. It gets about 3 hours a day, except for when we go do RA once a week. We typically go out for about 8 hours when my son's in school. Did you know that when IP alert flags an item as a known IP or as a known complaint file, it disables RevSeller pricing stats? Scott, I have heard that from a few people, and my developer has not been able to recreate that. So maybe if you want to take a screen recording and send it to me, I'll be happy to have my developer look at it. Since I can't recreate that, and neither can he. I'm trying, Will. Okay, a few more questions. We got a couple from YouTube here. Do I recommend matching the buy box price or repricing below or above the buy box? I'm typically afraid of price tanking with competing repricers. Henry, that's a great question. So there are a couple of schools of thought, and I've actually gone back and forth because I don't want to be the guy who, is tanking by a penny all the time. However, I do want to sell through my items as quickly as possible. I'm all about the money. I want my inventory to churn as fast as possible. Okay. And if I've actually talked to the guys behind Aura, who they happen to also be, have majors in economics, and they like to price below by a penny when they're not held to map. And then some people want to match the buy box. If you match the buy box, you should get a share. If you try to hold the buy box as much as possible by repricing down by a penny, more power to you. It really just depends what you want to do. As long as you set your rules right, so you're not losing money unless you want to lose money, which, yes, I will lose money on a product if I have to clearance it out after 90 days to get some of my inventory or get some of my capital back, even though I lose some of it. It's really just up to you, man. I don't get mad like some people do when people start pricing down by a penny, because that's the way it goes, and it's a business, and they've made a business decision. And I have my repricer set up to hit a floor. Once it hits a floor, I reprice back to the top so I can hopefully bring up some other repricers with me. And then when I do have the buy box, I also have my repricer set so that it moves the price within 1% to try to get me to hold that buy box as long as possible. Do I have an alternative for RevSeller in the UK? You could check out BuyBot Pro. I've tested them out too. I like what they're doing. They're very receptive to bugs and changes and things like that. They're just a lot more expensive. They're a monthly fee instead of an annual fee. What type of quantity do you suggest you purchase? I don't want to buy too many and get stuck with too much inventory. I would suggest that as a new person, you go wide. Buy 5 to 10 units, or don't invest more than 1 to 2% of your capital in a single SKU. So if your capital, let's say you have a capital of $1,000, okay? If you have a capital of $1,000, then you wouldn't want to spend more than, well, that's not right, sorry, 10% of that, $100. Sorry, I meant 10%, not 1%. You wouldn't want to spend more than $100 on a single SKU. Now, typically, I would suggest you go even lower than that, maybe $50 to test something out. And once you test it, if it's good, replenish it as soon as you're able to. And when you replen, go from 50 to 100. And if that goes well, go from 100 to 200. And then, like I have a replen right now where I started off with 10 units because that's what I could get. Okay. And then when I replened 20 units, and that went well. And now we replen a month at a time, and we buy, I think it's 120 units at a time. And that's it. All right. Real quick, before we keep going, we're about an hour in. I want to remind everybody, if you want to win tonight, we are giving away 5 lead lists from OACheddar.com, some poly bags from my buddy over at iLoveSupplies.com, 2 Tactical Arbitrage shirts, and 2 copies of IP Alert. You want to put your first name and your first initial of your last name in that form, and I'll make sure to to draw names here very shortly. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get through these questions here, guys. In one of your other videos, you said something about doing a reverse search with Tactical Bucket in a category 1 through 500,000. Can that only be done with Tactical Bucket? You can go. So if you want to do best sellers, you can use the best sellers feature without Tactical Bucket in a reverse search, and that will take you through the top 100,000. If you want to go deeper than that, you're going to need a tool to be able to get you more ASINs. Tactical Bucket is something that can do that for you. Rita says, once you reach 10K in sales for the month, what then? Do you just keep adding inventory or try to focus on replens? It depends. I do love replens. They're great. But I also like profits. And so I'll go, I start following sales and things like that for the short-term stuff. I like to have a diverse portfolio of inventory, if you will. And then I'll find some of those will just turn into replens. All right, and let's see here. Clive says, Chris, my main strategy is to have 900 to 1,000 replens monthly in 18, 20 to 24 months. Do you think TA can help me do that? If I'm searching for replens in TA, what would be your main advice? So if you're searching for replens, 900 to 1,000 replens is a lot. I'll be honest with you. You do not need that many to make a significant amount of money. We have one replen that makes us about $400 a month, okay? But let's just say that you have replens that make you $50 a month in profit after expenses, okay? If you multiply that by just 150, that's $7,500 in profit. For most people, $7,500 in profit, okay, after expenses, that is a significant amount of money. So 900 to 1,000 is probably a lot. Even wholesale guys, they don't have that many. They're not having that many replens. However, yes, TA can help you do that. I would suggest that you try to stay. If you're going to do it all OA, I would suggest that you. Sorry, Marianne, you think what? I'm not 100% sure. I would suggest that you focus away from sales. If you're going to be doing just OA, you're going to want to find things that you can buy at regular price and then replen later on. Okay. Perfect. Gotcha. Perfect. Answered that. Sorry, guys. Just want to make sure I got all these here. What is the advantage of using PPC on a product? So here's the thing about PPC on OA and RA products. One, you're only paying for your PPC when you have the buy box. You're not paying for it if you and I are both on a product. You and I are not. I'm not going to pay for it when you have the buy box. Okay. Two, you're very likely to get that product out in front of more people. Hopefully you'll get some clicks. Hopefully you're going to get some sales on it. And I've taken things that aren't selling and they have sold. And then I've taken things that are actually, like, I had a product that was like 45,000 in grocery. It became a replen. I wanted it to move a little bit faster, so we put it on some PPC. Nothing special. I didn't go in and I probably should, but I didn't go in and like figure out what keywords to do. I just did auto PPC, 7.5 cents bidding up to my 15 maximum per day, and now it's down in the 15 to 25,000 range on a regular basis. So it sells faster, and we're not paying very much for that PPC. So I'm seeing about a 9% ACoS or advertising cost of shoot. I wrote a blog post on all of these. Now I can't remember what ACOS. Anyway, so 9% is my ACOS, which is pretty low, something like that. Sorry, guys, I've got a puppy who got in here, who is chewing one of my shoes. Give me just 1 second. Ah, the joys of puppies. Okay. Do I have a coupon for Storefront Stalker Pro? Yes, I do. I don't have it handy at the moment. But I can, if you will message me or email me at Chris@cleartheshelf, I will get that coupon for you. What is my biggest challenge that I face with OA daily personally? Honestly, it's time. I need to make sure that I have enough time to do it, and I don't always have enough time to get it done the way that I like to do it. And that really is it. And I preach that you need to make it happen. And I unfortunately do not follow my own preaching on a regular basis. But that is really the biggest challenge. All the tools and all the teachings that are out there make it pretty easy to do. At what point would you need to buy wholesale? There are some times when retail is better than wholesale, Rita. It doesn't always have to be wholesale, but if I were replenishing an item for like three months, I'd probably try looking for a wholesaler. Is it better to do live search or cache search? I personally like the cache search. Everyone likes some hot, nasty speed, and the cache search should be faster than live. But Eric Cypress, who is one of the is very knowledgeable about TA and is one of the moderators in the TA group, he only does live searches, and that's just the way he likes it. So there is no wrong way. You're not going to break anything. You're not going to. Sorry, guys. You're not going to break anything. And test out and see what works for you. So let me tell the missus. Okay. James, do I recommend IP Alert? Well, I am a little biased. I'm half owner of IP Alert. My developer built it. So yes, I think it's a good tool. We're always trying to grow the database of IP prone brands, which can be difficult because we also try to vet them and make sure that it's not just crap information. There is a discount code right on the sales page. I think it's 20 off or something to take $20 off the thing, but don't buy it, unless you think you need it. But we think it's a good tool. How many price adjustments has TA gone through? Will the price go up? And if so, will I be locked in to my startup price? Alex actually recently lowered the price to try to make it a little bit more palatable for everybody. The price really has not gone up very much. It came down not too long ago. However, if it were to go back up in price, you would be locked in at whatever you have. Yes. Let's see. Marshawn, Chris, most often I'm overwhelmed with the results from TA, even with rank, profit, etc. filled in. What is a more productive way of sorting through results without taking hours to do so? Pretty close to using a VA, but I haven't bitten the bullet yet. That's a great question. So let's talk about that a little bit, okay? Let's go back to the view data. So here's what I like to do when I'm going through results. Excuse me. So one of the things that I think, I know that I used to do, and I think many people do, is when you're going through results in tactical arbitrage, you see this first one here, and you're like, okay, I see the chart, I see the price. Now I'm going to open it up, and let me move that out of the way. Now I'm going to open it up, and I can see here it's fish oil on Amazon. I want to let my rev seller load, and I can see here on okay, this is a mismatch, which happens on occasion. I know how this happened. So okay, I see this is a mismatch. Well, you just took your time, and that was probably a waste. Okay, so what I do is I look at the Keepa chart, and this chart looks great. I really like it. I like the price. The sales velocity is going up and down nicely. This would be something that I want to look deeper into. Let's just say that these images match, okay? And the titles look pretty good. Instead of me taking the time to now dive deeper into this item right here is going to be sent over, to my scanned items to be rechecked, okay? I'm going to move that. Now it's gone, okay? And I can keep going through. Now, this particular item here, I can see that the price was lower. It was selling. The price shoots up, and it's not really selling anymore. This is probably not something I'm going to go after. We can see that both of these are the same. So I'm going to scroll right on past those. Here is one that I can see the price has been steady. The price went up. It's still selling, okay? I can see that the images match. This is something that now gets moved to my my recheck folder. Oh, how did I send it? Okay, you could do it a couple of ways. I click on this little heart button right here, and I move it to my scanned items to be rechecked. Okay, so now what I can do is I can get through these. I can separate the wheat from the chaff, and then I can go in and I can start diving deeper. Okay. Now, this particular item right here, I can see Amazon is on it on a fairly regular basis. Now, there's a reason that I want to see this. A lot of people be like, oh, well, you know what? I can see Amazon's been on this more than 50% or more than 40%. Matter of fact, Amazon's been on it 51% over the last 90 days. Now, that's too much risk for me. I'm not really interested in it. So what I might actually want to do here is if we open up the Amazon page, and I can see they've got 80, 90, and 150 count. I actually might go in here and try to make a 150 account 2-pack, okay? Make sure you're sticking with terms of service. There are certain places where you can't do that, et cetera, and so on. Or I could also go and see, oh, well, fish oil, but you know what? I bet you I could bundle this women's along with this fish oil, and I could bundle this men's along with fish oil, and now I've got my own bundles, okay? So not only am I wanting to see these, just see if I'm going to actually get on the listing, but I can also get ideas for other products to bring to the catalog, okay? But this alone, I'm probably going to skip over, okay? And I'm going to keep going, and, you know, if it's profitable, if it is something I want to check a little bit deeper into, like this one, for example. This one here looks like a 1-pack at Walgreens. It's a 2-pack here, so this one needs changed really quick. And this is going to knock it out from this particular spot because I have this sorted by ROI. So that's gone. It's down further in the row, okay? But that's what I do. Yes, if you make a new bundle, you do start with 0 rankings. Put in some good keywords, make a nice title, make sure you have some really great pictures, some good copy, run a little bit of PPC to it, and you're probably going to have no issues. How often do I do bundles like this? Honestly, not very often. I am a self-proclaimed lazy Amazon seller. And if I see bundles that I can make, I will often hop on them. We actually just hopped on a grocery bundle not too long ago. That's done well for us, and it's time to replenish it. But I don't build very many bundles. I always mean to, and then I don't. But if someone is willing to do the work that I won't, you're going to profit where I'm not. How do you sort by ROI? That's a great question. When you want to come in here, I'm actually sorting by gross profit. There are a couple of things you can do. You can use this gross profit filter or this gross ROI filter. So let's say I didn't want to see anything that was less than 20% gross ROI, and I don't want to see anything more than 100% gross ROI. I hit apply. And now what I want to do is I want to see the highest ROI to the lowest. So if I actually click on the gross ROI column header, I'm going to sort by largest to smallest. Okay. If I click on it again, I'm going to sort from smallest to largest. Now, those are some great ways using the on-page filters, as well as those. You can also sort, you can sort any of these columns by number, or like if I wanted to go to this adjusted price, I can sort smallest to largest or largest to smallest. This is dim lighting. I need to get a better light system in here. All right. So once what does the purple mean? Great question, Christine. This means that Tactical Arbitrage has figured out that this is a multi-pack. So this particular item here is a Nature Made Magnesium Citrate Soft Gel. And we can see over here, it's a pack of 2. These look like they match. Okay, I need to double check just to make sure that the quantity is correct. They're both 120 counts. But Tactical Arbitrage has seen that it's a 2-pack and has already figured that out for you. So this adjusted price is based on a 2-pack quantity. And all of the information, like the profit and the ROI and all of that, is based on this 2-pack. Okay. This history chart is included in the price of Tactical Arbitrage. Yes. This keep a chart here. Well, everything but this, okay, and I don't think you get the buy box, but this data is included in the Keepa extension for free. Okay, if you want the buy box information and the sales rank information on the actual product detail page, then you have to pay for it, and it's 15 something per month. I forget how much it is. It's 15 something per month. It's like 17 in US. On average, how many unique product types do you list monthly? We're anywhere from 80 to 140 SKUs. And in Q4, it'll typically go up. On average, what percentage of your total listings do you allocate for replens? What percentages are bundles and packs? And what percentage are just single units? Replens, like I said, right now it's like 9 or 10 items. We're always looking to add replens. We just use Amazon's replen tool and see if it makes sense. Bundles and packs, I would say 10% are 10 to 12% are bundles or packs, and the rest are probably singles. Yeah, Matthew, it is in euros. It's 15 euros, which ends up being like 17. Right now, I think it's right around $17 and some change every month US. That's what I get charged. Well, one of the charges I get from Keepa. So if TA picks it out as a multi-pack, the adjusted price includes if you have to buy the WAG or whatever site to match the multi-pack. Yes, it does. So in this particular item here, we can see Like if we go to the actual Walgreens page, we can see it's $23.99. And if we look here, it's $47.98. So it's doubled the price. And then it takes off that buy one, get one free discount, gives me the cash back. I can see the total discount here. And so what would happen is my adjusted price is based on the discount of the 2-pack. Okay. And then if you make something a 2-pack, okay, so let's say that this Coke U10 here, let's say it was a 2-pack. Okay, it doesn't look like it is 200. It looks all right there. But let's just say this was a pack of 2. I can go in here and I can change the quantity to 2, and then it will do that. Tactical Arbitrage will do that for me automatically. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry, I've missed some questions here. Okay, we answered that. I do not feel that I am a great bundler. So I do not have any videos on bundles. If you search YouTube, though, there should be some good ones out there. But honestly, bundling items, looking at items that sell well together, taking the data right from Amazon, okay, will typically do a bundle pretty well. Or let's say you know of something that you buy on a regular basis together. So today, we are not environmentally friendly, and we use a lot of paper plates in our house because I hate dishes. Now, we do recycle the paper plates, and we buy recycled paper plates. That makes me feel better anyway. But one thing that if you're buying a lot of paper plates, perhaps you might also buy plastic cutlery as well. Okay, so a great bundle might be some forks and spoons, some plastic forks and spoons, and some paper plates, and there might be a bundle. So using some common sense, using some of the data that Amazon gives you, you can make some good bundles. Tactical Arbitrage is not perfect for bundles right now. Down the road, in the roadmap, there is a bundle component that's going to be coming to TA. If you get on someone else's bundle, can they file that you're selling counterfeit? If they're branded products, like if it's this Nature Made, if it's a bundle of 2 different Nature Made products, no, they can't. I mean, if they made a bundle and then they have like a unique item of their own that they've put in there, then they could claim that you're selling counterfeit. Sure. Amazon has a tool that tells you when they think you should replenish items. It's right in Seller Central. If you Google or if you go to YouTube and look for it, it should come up. I don't have a video on it, but I should probably make one. If I don't live in the US, would the store ship the order to the prep center? In most cases, yes. There are some stores like Target and Kohl's that may have blacklisted prep centers, but you'll want to talk to your prep center and see if they have a workaround for that. What percentage of your listings get pulled down due to IP complaints, or does IP Alert always work to notify you ahead of your listing? So here's the thing about IP Alert. It is not perfect, okay? It is as perfect as we can make it, in that we try to add brands as much as possible. The data is crowdsourced because there's not a repository of information about who is or who is about to send out IP complaints. IP Shark and Voorhees and all these other companies do not say on their blog, hey, this is who our new clients are this week. This is who we're going to try to hit with IP complaints. So we pull information from forums, from users, and from some Google Foo skills of my own. And and we try to add as many as possible. So IP Alert is not insurance. It is just trying to help as many people figure out what brands are really IP prone. Now, I will say this. I am, knock on wood, I have only ever gotten one IP complaint in all of my years selling on Amazon. And that is even me selling like as seen on TV products and things like that. I am more careful these days than I was years ago, but I have still only had one IP complaint in my time selling on Amazon. Do I offer one-on-one mentorship programs? Unfortunately, I do not. I have not found a way to make it something that is what I think is fair for both me and for the person. S asked if you delete an item in the view data screen, can you later retrieve it? Unfortunately, no. There is no recycle bin feature. It is in the feature request list, but there are some other things in front of it. R.A. Davis, how much money do you put back into the business and how much money do you keep for yourself? So we don't keep much money from Amazon for ourselves. Pays a couple of the bills every month. It pays like we lease a home, and until we find one we absolutely fall in love with down here in Florida, and pays for my son's private school, and then we put everything else back into Amazon. That's it. Okay, let's see here. Answered that one. Great. How do you get the hazmat feature next to the sell new feature in RevSeller? That was an update. So this will, what this does, this is in beta, okay? This is going to take you to the dangerous goods section so you can actually look up an ASIN, okay? Now, it will also alert you if the ASIN is in hazmat review. That's it. But it's a nice little feature, so you don't have to remember that link all the time. Christine, do you mind scrolling right for me to see the column order past the UPC column? Absolutely. So here's how I have my column set up. I've got my history chart, my estimated monthly sales, in stock, the source, the price, discounts and taxes, the adjusted price, the quantity, the product images, okay, product image, Amazon image, the titles, title and Amazon title, the brand, the Amazon category, the ASIN, the UPCs. Past the UPC, I have the buy box holder, FBA, the number of new sellers, which is how many new sellers are on the listing, the competitive FBA sellers, which is the number of sellers within X% of the buy box. In this particular case, it is 2%. The Amazon buy box price, the sales rank, the average 30-day sales rank, the average 90-day sales rank, the Amazon in stock over 90 days, the ROI, the profit, the number of reviews, and the last update. That's how I have mine set up. There are a lot of other columns in here, but I find that too much information will cause you to have analysis paralysis, and I don't want to do that with OA. Yes, David, there is a remove duplicates. So when you're looking at data, if some duplicates pop up, or maybe you have duplicates across several different scans, you can press this. I just want to make sure I get it right. Press this delete all button, okay? And if there are any, you can actually be able to delete them, okay? So if we go back, let's view all results. And let me reset all the filters. Actually, it looks like I don't have any at the moment. But yes, there is a remove duplicates feature, and I know I've gone over that before. Poll for the also show reverse search results of more sources. You have advised to turn it off if we are doing a sale or if we're looking for replens or searching for toys in Q4. Okay, so if I'm looking at a single sale, okay, I'm doing a buy one, get one free at Walgreens. I don't want to reverse search other sources because it's going to slow it down, and I'm getting 50% off. That's huge, okay? If you're looking for replens, I would turn it on because replens are typically going to be things that you're going to be able to buy at regular prices. Or replens are alternatively things where you've learned the sales cycle of an item. So I know that at Walgreens that the buy one, get one free comes back like once a month, or they'll run it for 2 weeks and then it'll be gone for a month, and then they'll run it for 2 weeks again. Okay. So if you learn these sales cycles or you are buying things at full price, like I'm going to be honest, if you're willing to buy things that don't necessarily make $3, $4, $5, and you're willing to buy something that makes $1, $2, $3, but sells on a regular basis, and maybe you only need to go buy 10 or 20 at a time, there is like full-time money at just Walmart by itself. Okay. There's money at almost every store. But if you're using TA, for example, if you're looking for replens at full price, I would want to look across all the stores. If I'm searching toys in Q4, unless it's a particular sale, like Target's going to have a 25% off sale in Q4. Kohl's is going to have a 30% discount. Well, not on toys anymore. Forgot they took that away. But all these different sites are going to have these different toy sales. You may not want to do a reverse search then, but if you're just hammering toys and video games, you'd want to turn that on. Turn that reverse search on. Make sure you're looking across all of the sites. Excuse me. Yeah. With how many products I currently have listed, do you ever deal with aggressive competitors like hijacked listings or fake reviews? I'm pretty lucky. One, you can't really hijack a listing that I'm selling vitamins on, unless I went in, some Chinese seller went in and, put another product on it. Okay. I don't pay too much attention to reviews. So if there's fake reviews, they happen. I don't get them on my seller account. I'm pretty good about that, taking care of those. If I get something that I think is wrong. But hijacked listings, I'm sharing listings with other sellers. I'm not selling I'm not selling any private label products or anything. Not anymore. What happens if I get an IP complaint? I respond to it. I try to get the complainant to remove it. And if they don't, then I work it out with Amazon and show them that the item is legit or they haven't responded to my emails or anything like that. Amazon can suspend you over IP complaints if you had enough, sure. I know, newer sellers who have 8, 9 at a time and they haven't been suspended. But Amazon has to take IP complaints seriously. How can you deal with returns, especially that Amazon protects and give privilege to buyers more than sellers? We're in the retail game. It's like, think of it this way. You own a brick and mortar store. You are, returns are part of the game. And we got to remember that because Amazon is so liberal with their return policy, like I honestly, I got a return today where they took the item out of the box, their kid broke it, and they returned it. It's part of the game. I can request for a refund from or a reimbursement from Amazon, and maybe I'll get it, but more than likely I'm not going to. So it just comes out of the pot. It happens. Does RevSeller have a notification for items identified as meltable? No, it does not. There is no way to know for sure when an item is meltable other than using our own common sense. You know, like for example, one thing that everybody thinks is meltable would be candles, okay? Because paraffin wax melts at like 90 or 92 degrees, and Amazon states that you need to have items that will melt above 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, the thing is, for the past 50 years, the wax in candles has been mixed with a separate type of wax that actually melts at 150 degrees. So candles will actually get through 9 times out of 10, as long as they're not paraffin only candles. And I am a nerd for knowing that. I'm sorry. I'm based outside the US and I have a company registered in the US recently. You mentioned some stores blacklist prep centers. Does this mean I need to find out for my prep center which stores are blacklisted, or is there a list out there somewhere to see this information? You should talk to your prep center. I can tell you Target will blacklist prep centers, Kohl's. There might be some other ones. Those are going to be the two big ones. But your prep center may also have a workaround. Let's see. I include the AZ 15% and a generic state tax figure 8% together, 23%, and put that in as my tax number. You put in 23% for your tax number? Craig, I'm not sure why you would do that, man. Can we do an IP complaint process and some horror stories you've seen since you started Tactical Tuesday? Yeah, we could go over that sometime. I'll figure that out in a few weeks. Do you think Keepa data is more important for FBA sellers than for FBM sellers? I think it's important for both. You want to know that a product is selling. You want to see the price point that it's selling at. You know, let's say for example, see if I have any good examples here. I don't. But let's say, for example, that this product here, okay, I can see Amazon is on it, and they're on it at 272, and then it comes down to 201, and now it's back up to, or it's at 183. That's weird. There we go. Now it's at 320. Okay. Well, if I'm only profitable at $320 on this product, I'm not selling it because I can see that they are regularly bringing it down here. So I want to know all of this history, and it wouldn't matter whether I'm selling merchant fulfilled or if I'm selling FBA. I want to know, period. What is the perfect keeper graph or one you would buy from? I don't know if there's any such thing as a perfect keeper graph. What I want to see is I want to see consistent, solid, up and down movement on the sales rank. Okay. So like this one is not bad. Okay. I'd like to see it move a little bit at a little bit more of a brisk pace, but it's fine. And I also want to see a nice steady price. Like this would be great. If I could find products that had a nice steady price like this all the time, that would be killer. But I want to see prices that are not, they're not falling off the deep end. Do I know if hard candies such as Lifesavers and fruit snacks are considered meltables? Excuse me. Hard candies, it's going to depend on what the hard candy is made out of. If it's if it's caramel covered, it's probably meltable. If it's a Lifesaver, it's probably not meltable. If you Google, here's what I do, and here's where I learned about candles. If you Google Lifesavers melting point, okay, I'll show you here. If we just go and Google Lifesavers, melting point, we can typically see something like, can Lifesavers melt? No, they don't melt. Okay. At what temperature does hard candy melt? Looks like $300 or 300 Fahrenheit to melt candy. Now, if we go and put in things like Marshmallows melting point. We're going to get an answer that the melting point of marshmallows is right above body temperature, which is 98.6 degrees. That I don't think is true. Okay. I've never had one melt in my hand. So I'd probably dig a little bit deeper on that and see if that's the case. But it needs to be above 120 degrees to be able to withstand above 120 degrees. Let's see here. Jet.com is, I don't know if they've been blacklisted or not, but if you buy from them on a regular basis, you'll probably get blacklisted. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jet.com, they don't like resellers. Does the sales rank really matter? Sales rank is a snapshot in time. Okay. Sorry, I want to help everybody. There's 72 people here, so we're going to get questions outside of TA and about TA. You know, I've kind of gone over a process for how to go through everything, but I also want to help everybody who has questions, because I know we've got people all over the place. Jet is owned by Walmart. Yes. Okay. So sales rank is a snapshot in time. So yes, sales rank matters to a point, but what matters more is how often that that product is moving. Okay. So what we can see here is over the last 90 days, this item here has probably sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay. And that's it. And then this one, we can see out here, it sold twice. And then it's got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 6 times over the past month or so. Okay. So that's what's more important. Now, there are also going to be times where you're not going to be able to count the number of spikes. Now, the other thing we have to remember is, this drop in sales rank is not necessarily just one sale. This drop in sales rank could be 2 sales, could be 4 sales. We're not 100% sure. So we have to use some gut instinct along with the Keepa graph. We can also look at number of reviews and all these other things. But the only way to know 100% for sure whether a product sells or not is to buy some and send some in. Which strategy do you like or prefer? Buy low price items in high volume or high price items with low volume? I assume you have less number of FBA sellers on high price items and the returns are more. Will this assumption be correct? I'll buy low price items. I'll buy high priced items. It doesn't matter. I sell what sells profitably. Things like electronics and, other stuff like that, you're going to have some more returns. So you need to make sure you can withstand those and there's enough profit in there. Let's see. So on the Keepa graph, the up and down on the image versus the one below. Oh, there's a Facebook question about Keepa noise. We should probably go over that in an actual Keepa webinar. What profit margins do I typically aim for? I typically want a 20% or better ROI at the beginning, but I will allow that to drop to 10% with my repricer over time. Chris, why does Amazon sometimes tell you not eligible for Prime and there are not FBA? That would be if there's no FBA seller, it could be that it's under hazmat review. It could be a hazmat product and there are no FBA sellers. There's all kinds of reasons. Let's see. Does TA try not to list the stores that do not like resellers? No. Tactical Arbitrage does not figure out what stores do and do not like resellers. Occasionally, Tactical Arbitrage will remove stores that give you bad products, like I think it was Finish Line or Foot Locker. It was one of those shoe stores They were just sending out horrible products. Okay, a couple more questions, guys, and then we're going to give some stuff away. How much money do you put back in? Oh, answered that. Realistically, if I started today, is it feasible to say that within a week I should be able to find things? Yes, you should be able to find profitable items within a week without a problem. How hard is it to pass the hazmat program? You just have to request it pretty much, and they let you in or they say no. There is no fee. I only have private videos on Keepa in Tactical Arbitrage Academy because we dive into some really deep stuff. Let's see here. Yes, we could do a Tactical Tuesday dedicated to tools and Chrome extensions. Yes. If an Amazon product does not have the have on to sell to option, do we just put it up via the add products? Yes, absolutely. All right, guys. So I think we've covered everything. We're coming. Well, we are at 2 hours. Can you have an item returned to you that turned hazmat while in FBA? Yes, you can have it. Typically, you can have it returned. I think. I'll have to double check. Sometimes you can't, or you may not be able to while it's hazmat review. I always forget. All right, so we're 2 hours in. I need to spend a little bit of time with the missus before it is actually bedtime. So let's go and let's do some giveaways. I'm going to throw these links out there just one more time, give you one last chance to put your name in for the drawing. And I'm going to give that about like 30 seconds, guys, and we're gonna run this over and start drawing names. Sorry, I'm extra parched tonight. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give away 5 copies of the OA Cheddar lead list from my buddies over at oacheddar.com. Let me go in and grab these names here. And actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the ability to take any more, okay? That way we just know that everybody is in here, okay? So we've got 94 folks in here. Oh, and while I'm doing this, guys, Susan, I think you got your name in here. Give me a thumbs up on that YouTube video. That really helps me a lot, and I would really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button while you're at it, and let's dig in and grab some OA Cheddar giveaways here. All right. So the first winner of the OA Cheddar list this week. What did that say? Hold on. Is Jeff P. Jeff P. If you can shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com, I will get you a copy of this week's OA Cheddar list. Excuse me. The second winner is Brad Z. Brad Z, if you could shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com, I will get you taken care of as well. Next up is Michael D. Michael D, if you would shoot me an email, I will get you a copy of OA Cheddar for this week. This shirt is by a company called Roosevelt, RSVLT, Matthew. They make all kinds of all over print shirts like this. Steph H, you have won a copy of the OA Cheddar list. And the last OA Cheddar list for this week is going to Man, I know that we've met. I know that we've talked, and I think I mess your name up all the time, but Dianand, if you could shoot me an email, chris@cleartheshelf.com, I will get you a copy of this week's OA Cheddar list as well. Check those guys out at oacheddar.com if you want to learn more about their lead list that they put together. Now, let's go ahead. We've got three 100 polybag bundles to give away. Okay. So the first one this is from Jonathan over at iLoveSupplies.com. He is a good dude, makes a great product. Guy S. If you can shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com. Going to need to get your address and your email, and I'll get you in touch with Jonathan to get you taken care of. And next up for the I Love Supplies poly bags is Sylvia N. Sylvia N, shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com. I will get you hooked up as well. And the third and final winner this week is Kenneth L. Kenneth L, shoot me an email, get you hooked up with 100 poly bags as well. Let's do IP Alert next. We've got 2 copies of IP Alert to give away. First one is going to go to Katie H. Katie H, shoot me an email. I'll get you set up with a copy of IP Alert. And next up is Gabriel M. Gabriel M, if you will shoot me an email, I will get you taken care of as well, sir. And now we are going to do a shirt. So we got 2 shirts today. The first winner of the shirt of the Tactical Arbitrage shirt is Harold W. Shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com. I need your size, the color, and your address, and I'll get you hooked up with a Tactical Arbitrage t-shirt. And finally, we have one more shirt to give away. It's going to, is that Amele? Amele A. Shoot me an email. I will get you a Tactical Arbitrage shirt as well. Guys, thanks for being here tonight. Next week, it will be same time, same place at 8 p.m. We've got more Tactical Arbitrage to learn and go over. And we will talk a little bit more about online arbitrage, all things Amazon. And again, please make sure to hit the subscribe and the thumbs up button on YouTube. That will greatly help me out. And I will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a great night.